Top Billin. Here we go again. Think like a GM this time for them New York Jets, the Gotham Green Gangsters, baby. All right, so this is like my, third or fourth New York Jets Think Like a GM series. Just going through various scenarios that have you think outside the box or just think in general about these particular draft picks, right, in the first round or beyond. So I've gone through the situation where my number one is, hey, you know me, I'm all about value, and I'm all about surrounding a quarterback with the best talent possible no matter when that is. It's not necessarily going to reach for a quarterback or just thinking you have to have a quarterback right now because none are coming in the subsequent drafts, which couldn't be further from the truth, right? I cover college football. Go look up and down the channel with this content. I'm running through guys over the next couple of drafts that to me are as good as a Zach Wilson or a Justin Fields, Trey Lance, and these guys. I'm talking about guys like Matt Corral from Ole Miss. My man Sam Howell. I would pick him number 2 in the draft if he entered this particular draft. I think more highly of him than I do any of the guys in this particular draft. Same thing with a guy like DJ Uiagalelei. He would be 2 drafts from now. Max Johnson from LSU. Jaden Daniels from Arizona State. JT Daniels from the University of Georgia, former 5-star, who was right after Trevor Lawrence and Justin Fields in that cycle as the third 5-star QB. And he was a reclassification guy. So he was a junior who skipped his senior year of high school and went straight to the pros, if you get what I'm saying, like that. So think about that right there. You do not have to have a quarterback, but I see what the Jets fans are like. It looks like the consensus is people want Zach Wilson. If you just have to take a quarterback right there, I'm good with the Zach Wilson thing. You can see it on the film study here on the channel. I personally would probably roll with Justin Fields, though. I like the fact of him coming from the type of competition that he played here in high school in Georgia, the type of competition that he played at Ohio State. He's been in big moments and everything like that, but skill set is a skill set. Zach Wilson, Justin Fields, very similarly skilled in my opinion. Same thing with Trey Lance, right? But I would trade back and accumulate picks because the Jets have so many damn holes. And none of these dudes are better prospects than Sam Darnold was in college. And I don't give a damn what you guys say in the comment section or whatever like that. You guys are Johnny-come-latelys. I covered that man for Rivals.com. His entire time at USC, did mountains of film studies on him back then. I don't have a bad memory. My memory is like an elephant. When I was covering this man, I was talking to people, and people were comparing this guy to Andrew Luck, and he's still only like 23, 24 years old. It hadn't been that damn long ago. So imagine that. You surround this guy with the proper amount of talent. You surround this guy with some really good coaching, right? First and foremost, has he had any good coaching? Has he had a good offensive line to where he's not panicking for his life? These are the type of stuff that I think about. However, I do realize that there's a contract coming up for this guy as well, so you have to be on your P's and Q's about that. But, hey, if it doesn't work out for him, you don't have to extend this dude. You can just let him walk for nothing, right, which would be kind of bad, right? Maybe you trade him right now. He has some value. But to me, you run with what you brung. You drafted this guy. You see it through to fruition. If he becomes a star with the New York Jets, to me, that's the bomb right there, right? You grew a homegrown, home-cultivated talent right there, and you made it that to be such. So, but beyond that, like I said before, I'm accumulating draft picks. I'm digging back in the draft and grabbing a Kyle Pitts. I'm grabbing another offensive lineman, right, with the 20-something pick or whatever like that. But you know what I'm not doing? I am not drafting a first-round running back. I'm not doing it. Especially for this particular scheme with these guys that are coming in, right? Your LaFleurs. Your LaFleurs comes from the Shanahan scheme. If he's anything like these guys, he's been groomed around these guys, been at them in various situations in Atlanta and San Francisco. They don't work with first-round draft picks at running back. Just look at the success that they've had with the guys that they have. Raheem Mostert, I'm not sure where was he even drafted. He fits the bill to me exactly what the original Shanahan, right? Mike Shanahan, what they did with a lot of these undrafted free agents that they had in Denver, they don't value that position because they value what's in front of that position, meaning the offensive line and the scheme. Think like a GM. Travis Etienne, like this is in full disclosure here. I was jumping on here thinking about doing something on Travis Etienne with the New York Jets. Love that speed. Been covering this kid since he was a sophomore at Clemson. he is the goods. He has straight up track speed. The guy worked on his hands. He caught like 50 passes this year. He used to have them brick hands, right? Whereas his shits was on backwards. It was the bone part was in the padding part, but he worked on that. He understands zone concepts. He has great zone awareness there. He could work really good in a wide zone scheme. Same thing with Najee Harris. Those guys sound good. It sounds good to get running backs that high, but it's unnecessary, completely unnecessary. They had Jeff Wilson there, a guy like the Campbell kid or Coleman. I was thinking about Tevin Campbell. I wasn't thinking about Tevin Campbell. You were thinking about Tevin Campbell. I wasn't thinking about him. Tevin Coleman from the Atlanta Falcons who went to the San Francisco 49ers. Matt Breida. The kid from the Minnesota Vikings from Georgia Southern that was there that they got. These are the type of guys that they get. All these guys are second-round picks and beyond or undrafted free agents. They like some guys that can run, though. All those guys have some pretty good wheels. Guess what? The New York Jets don't have them problems. They have a guy, right? They got over on the Detroit Lions by getting Ty Johnson. I'm familiar with Ty Johnson from his days at Maryland. He was on a very exciting offensive team that had all kinds of guys on it, right? You can see them all throughout the NFL, fellow running backs, receivers, and everything like that. This guy can run. He has legitimate 4.4 speed. He may could crack a 4.3. He fits the bill of exactly what these guys would go out and get in the draft in the 5th or 6th round and would turn them into 1,000-yard rushers, right? Because you get to concentrate on the shit that makes a run game, which is the offensive line. I like Becton. George Fant, I think he's serviceable. If you could get somebody in George Fant's position like a Penei Sewell, maybe kick George Fant inside, you get that much better with Connor McGovern and these guys like that. You have some holes there. It can be a lot better if we're talking about getting more athletic and working wide, mid, stretch, all the different zone schemes that they're going to be running. But you do not need a super name. You don't need an Etienne or a Harris in the first round. That's a waste of a pick. That's where you could be picking somebody on the offensive line or maybe somebody on defense. You have enough holes there to where running back shouldn't be in your vernacular. And if you look at the history of the scheme, they don't do that. So I can't say for sure that Joe Douglas is going to abide by that. Maybe he does go and get an Etienne or Harris, and that's fine. But it's unnecessary. It's completely unnecessary if you understand the scope of what they've done throughout the history of that particular scheme, and especially if you're going by San Francisco as an example, right? Same thing when they were there in Atlanta or whatever like that. You need a certain type of running back, one cut and go, guys with zone field. Ty Johnson is perfect. I think he can be a star in this scheme. Josh Adams isn't bad either. LaMichael Pirine I don't necessarily like, even though I cover him at Florida. He's a slow. He's all right as a change of pace, a third down guy, maybe like that, or somebody you just want to see maybe can move the chains. He does run hard when he's not dancing. I don't know, not a big LaMichael Pirine guy, but I love some Ty Johnson, man. As a matter of fact, man, let's check out on Ty Johnson right here and let me show you what I'm talking about. All right, before Ty Johnson, just look at it in action here. Obviously, you're going to have your ghost motion here. He wants to climb up to get somebody on the third level here. So he gets Ashton Davis. That would be Kendrick Bourne, the receiver. And, of course, you know what it is, man. Zone flow across the board here. And they're doing it with the lead. So this is a lead tosser. Right, from the stretch zone here. Everybody getting a hat on a hat, but it's area blocking. So you're blocking at an angle, not necessarily blocking the man. So this is why these bigger body guys who are athletic are in vogue in this particular scheme here. And it's just beautiful if you have a guy that's a one cut and go like Raheem Mostert. You know what I mean? I know y'all guys remember this last year. This shit was like, what the fuck? That shit was hard. That's how you do it right there. That's the epitome of this scheme right here. If you can get some of these explosive plays on the ground here, you see Kendrick Bourne climbing up to the third level. Look at this. Everybody occupied, right? Hat on a hat. You're angling and increasing off here just to create that organic cutback lane. On this one, there is none, so it's the banger bounce theory. So he keeps it outside and bounces it. Outruns Marcus May, Neville Hewitt, and those guys. Remember this one, it was called back, but the same thing. Lead, one cut, he's gone. One cut. It's all you need right there, man. That shit is spectacular. Check this out with Ty Johnson. All right, here you go, gang green. You got Pirine here on a circle motion coming out And then, of course, zone flow across the board right here. Becton, Lewis, McGovern, Van Roten, looks like McDermott. So think about all these guys like McDermott and freaking Chuma Edoga and all these guys, man. You got to get an upgrade in their offensive line. I don't give a fuck what anybody says, man. You need a Panay Sewell or somebody like that. That'll help a guy like Sam Darnold tremendously there. Angling off right here, of course, Chris Herndon, who I wouldn't mind being replaced with Kyle Pitts. But it is what it is right there. So if you see this right here, Ty Johnson able to eat up yards very quickly, man. He has Raheem Mostert type speed, and that's exactly what you want. Circle motion. Widens them out a little bit. Now look at his zone feel. Look at that. Beat the guy to the edge, and he's gone. Right? Not gone. You get what I'm saying right there. His ass is eating and churning up yardage. See the zone feel of this right here to get that crease. Remember what I said, bang or bounce. You're usually reading off of a 3 technique here. This right here, you're going to be reading an approaching defender. So you have way of operating on something like this is, right, you want to get them flowing this way, and then you be able to cut it back, right? That's the bang theory here. On this one right here, you have an approaching defender, so you have to be cognizant of that, and you can clearly see the crease, the organic crease forming here, but can you beat the guy there? He takes the wrong approach. He takes an inside approach. Of course, your man bounces that bad boy. And then that was all she wrote for that one right here. Really good gainer from Ty Johnson. Great blocking downfield by P-Ron as well. Vincent Smith down there as well. So let's check this one out right here too. You can see him eat up yardage real quick. Look at this. This is a weak side run. Real quick 8, 9 yards or whatever like that off of nothing. That's what you want on some first down type shit right here. Same thing right here. Approaching defender. I think that's Baker. You got to have that zone feel. Normally, you probably would want to get it up in there, but nope. You can see the crease forming between Lewis and McGovern there. Stick that foot in the ground. Elevate your pad or de-elevate your pad level. Get yourself a good 8 yards. All right, hopefully you New York people are still here, right? I have a feeling you guys probably watch 35 seconds of content and then you comment. We don't do that shit around here, baby. Real men watch to the end and then comment. So let me know if you're here. Real men watch to the end. Check this out right here. Working a trade game with Griffin and Herndon here. Have these guys all messed up, and then you run weak side. I actually love that particular concept right there. I really love weak side runs off zone. It's pretty good shit right here. You saw the trade game, then it becomes a numbers game, right? You see it. 1, 2, 3, 4 guys to the right, only 3 to the left. You just got to navigate that. So you see it right here. The zone feel. Guys climbing out. The water's being muddy right here, McGovern. But you can totally see the crease forming. Maybe you could bang it up in here, but your road and your path of victory right there, the path of least resistance, would be to bounce this to the outside. And he did that. Eats up a quick 9, 10 yards. The guy can move, man. He's got great zone feel. Love this one right here because it's the bang theory. You see the breach, and look at him cut it up real quick. That's how you know you have really good zone feel right here. You've been bouncing them. You get it right there. You see LaMarcus Joyner. He comes down here after seeing them bouncing to the outside. He wants to force him to cut back. So when forced to do so, you stick that foot in the ground. You let the lane form for you. You know, it's always against the grain. You can see right there, he barely had to even go anywhere, really, right? You let it stop. It keeps flowing. You go against the grain, stick that foot in the ground, get upfield. All right, this one a little bit different right here. This is meant to hit between both A-gaps. It's going to be an inside zone run. So you can see the footwork a little different, and you see him navigate it just as well. That's hard. Check this out right here. On the inside zone, footwork is going to take you laterally, but then you want to immediately press it upfield right here. You can see those guys shooting because they usually used to this outside zone. So you start having them shoot outward. You stick that foot in the ground, hit him with the inside zone, then you got to navigate it. Look at him able to navigate the blocking right here, staying on the outside hip. Come on, man. This kid can play. This is the exact type of 5th or 6th round pick or whatever he was like that they normally find in a scheme like this. And here's another one right here. Trade game. Get the numbers in your favor. This time they're trying to work to the weak side, and it still does not matter because he can navigate the zone, and he's quick out the gate. Look at that. They actually defended this pretty well. You got the guy here, I want to say it's Morrow. They were looking to make him bounce this back inside. There's really nowhere to go here. If he were to bang this back inside right here, he's going to meet Kwiatkowski here head on. So being able to quickly navigate that, he decides, like, you know what, there's a little bit of a crease right here. Let me keep it and bounce that bad boy. And he does a good job of doing that. Stick his foot in the ground, and his reacceleration is just better than yours. So there you have it, man. So let me know what you think about Ty Johnson. I'm not saying they shouldn't target a back in the draft because I think they do need another body. I was going to do something on Josh Adams here. I may save him for a little bit later there. I think he could be a good second or third back there. So if they do want to get a back, just not in the first round. There'd be guys like Chuba Hubbard and some other guys out there. Maybe the one of the kids from North Carolina, not the Williams kid, the other kid. His name's escaping me right now. But there's always going to be backs for zone schemes everywhere. So plenty of these guys will be available in the draft. You don't have to necessarily go and target one in the first round. That's a big name because the scheme does not call for that. It's about the scheme and it's about the offensive line in this particular setup. So let me know what you think about that, New York Jets fans. It's your boy Murph, the Underground King. Make sure you like this bad boy. Make sure you subscribe and tell a friend to subscribe, and it's all good, all right? With that being said, man, peace.
What more can I say?
Top Billin.